So thank you everyone for joining me this morning for the LineWise webinar of the month. We are getting back to doing these trainings or webinars, informative sessions for products, whatever you want to call them. Back to doing this at least once a month. Sometimes there may be twice a month, depending on what things turn up here. But I'm trying to stay consistent with at least once a month for the next 12 months, or for all through the 2024 year. With this starting the last month of 2023. Some might have said, well, I could have waited, but I'd rather just go ahead and get started. This is something that is being brought back by the request of quite a few of the manufacturers reps and some customers that said they learned a lot about the product through the times when we were doing this. We started doing webinars, or we called them virtual demos at some point, and we maybe do some of those as well, depending on the product and the availability and our ability to be able to do that, depending on whether the product is here and how difficult it may be. So on this case, this is a situation where we don't actually have the product in the shop. The customer has purchased the product. The customer is out in California. I hadn't been told that I can't say who they are, but it's Southern California Edison. They purchased the first one, and it was designed and built per their request. And so before going too far, again, thank you for joining us today. And if you want to find this information that I'm going to share with you, you can go to your search bar and look up line-wise.com. It'll take you to our homepage here. Then you can go to utility, this section right here, and then go to, I always do that, just hover over, and then go down and select utility transmission. And here at the very bottom, you'll find tower platform. Now, tower platform has, just like any other product in this industry, there are different names that different people use for different types of products. For example, we have a product called a guard arm. It's basically a football goal post type setup that you put up when you're running new conductor across highways or railroads and things of that nature, and it keeps the conductors from falling down onto the roadways or railroad down below. So we call them guard arms, but it's also known in the industry they call them bat wings. Sometimes they call them rollovers. They call them bullhorns. So there's a bunch of different names for different types of products. In this case, we call this a tower platform, but one of the names that I've heard commonly out in the industry is called a baker board. I haven't quite figured out or asked the question why they call them baker boards, but I know that is one common term that's out there, but we call it a tower platform. So, move this box out of the way here. Okay, so the tower platform is a work platform that hooks onto a transmission tower on one end and onto a de-energized transmission conductor at the other end. Used for assisting the installation of 220 kV 20-foot insulator strings or 500 kV 40-foot insulator strings. Again, this was first designed for Southern California Edison. It might be that you want something different. If you're the end user, in other words, the electric utility or the electric utility contractor, for the manufacturers reps on the call today, or any distributors that might be on the call today, for you, it might be your customer that wants something a little bit different. By all means, always bring it to us. Again, and I can't stress this enough, just because you don't see the product that you or your customer may be looking for doesn't mean that we do not have it, or doesn't mean that we cannot create it or design it or engineer it. It just takes someone to call us and ask us. I promise you, if it can be done, diversified, which the LineWise name sets under, can do it. Okay. Features and specifications. In this case, the 40-foot length is what was requested. The 24-inch wide fiberglass decking is what was requested. And we're going to see some pictures of this here in a minute. The 800-pound overall weight was acceptable to them. You might come back and say, no, it can't be more than 600 pounds. Okay, let's see what we can do, right? So even in the specifications, keep in mind that a lot of this was set based upon what Southern California Edison was needing or could work with. You might have different requirements. Can be flown in by crane or helicopter. It has 2 adjustable height hooks with a rated safety chain for attaching to the tower, and 1 roller guide hook with a rated safety chain to attach to the conductor. Now, I have, that's not what I wanted, right here. So this here is the brochure of the tower platform. And so the pictures are kind of grainy because we haven't got a chance to actually use one out in the field yet, or get pictures, I should say, of the one in the field. So we had to try to be creative and find what was out in the on the web and use that as a starting point. So here you can see what these towers kind of look like on the end. I'm going to try to blow this up as best as I can. Looks like we have some people that are trying to get in. I'm not sure if Heather and Tammy see that or not, but I'll leave that to them to let them in. But at the end here, you can see a person sitting here on the power lines. There's some other people up in here on this end. You can see where there's some more people sitting on these lines. And what I'm hearing some feedback somewhere on the screen or on the earphones here. If somebody's got there we go. That's cleaned up now. Here you can see where there are tower platforms. Let me get back to that again here. Tower platforms that are on the line here, and they're being flown in by this helicopter up above. So this here is what we refer to as a tower platform and a actual application where it's being used. And it's more attached around this area is what we're going to, and how we're seeing it used. This is what I'm going to explain more in the brochure here. So here is the detailed information about the brochure, about the tower platform. So here you see that it mentions some of the information that we talked about and the specifications on the website itself. 40 foot long, 2 foot wide, 800 pounds in weight. The part that attaches to the tower itself is used by these hooks that you see here. Now, these hooks here, they're adjustable in height and also they rotate. And so this allows, keep in mind, this entire device is being flown up by a helicopter. So looking back at this picture here, you have the helicopter up at the top, and then the tower platform is hanging down below it. And so the helicopter is going to fly it in close enough to the tower that those hooks that you see here are going to attach to the tower. They hook onto the tower, and then they use these chains that you see here to secure it to the tower so that these hooks just don't pop off. On the back end, to the left of what you're seeing here, or this section of it, another way to look at it is this is where the hooks are on this end on the right-hand side of the screen, and this is where this roller guide is here on the left-hand side of the screen. And the roller guide is this section right here. This round portion that you see here, this round device, is how they're hooking onto the strap or chain or whatever they use from the helicopter to attach to this end of the tower platform. And then this here is the roller guide, and this here is a security chain. So after the helicopter is able to secure the hooks on this side of the tower, you have linemen that have climbed the tower and they are securing it with these chains, right? So this will hook around here. This chain here will hook around this area. And now the helicopter operator will now, or pilot will now place this roller section over the conductor. So you have to imagine the conductors are running this direction, left to right or right to left here. And he's going to slide it to where this portion now goes over the conductor to where the conductor is going to land somewhere in this area. And then the rollers will be on top of the conductor, and then they can secure this side of the tower platform by putting in the security chain here. At this point, this entire tower platform is now setting on the conductor. So again, imagine you have the conductors running through this portion of the tower platform. The tower is on the left-hand side in this case, and then the rollers are right here, and they are located or on top of the conductors. So now this is where the lineman would now be able to come off of the tower on the right-hand side and then stand on top of this tower to do any kind of maintenance on the bells that will be in this area. This prevents them from having to sit on the conductors, as you saw in this one area right here. The capacity, again, this is something that was determined by Southern California Edison in this case, and you can see here how we got somewhat of a load chart here, and it's been color coded in green and yellow. Now, just so you know that are very up to date on college football teams or college colors. While we're in Waco, Texas, the yellow and the green is not for the Baylor Bears. That's just some colors that were chosen. So the green is for more capacity areas, and yellow is for less capacity, or to indicate that there are different loading zones, right? So these are some of the different ways it could be loaded, right? So you have, if there are no loads at all on the green zones, so nothing on the ends here, the platform is rated to support 650 pounds anywhere in the yellow zone. So if you have no one out here and no one out here, no tools, no personnel, then you can get a full 650 pound capacity anywhere here on the yellow section. Now, on the actual tower platform, it is color coded that way. It is actually green here on both sides and yellow in the center, so it's clearly visible. Distributed load. So if there are any loads in either or both of the green zones, the platform is rated to support 400 pounds anywhere in the yellow zone and 600 pounds combined total anywhere in the green zone. So then nothing over here on this side, 600 here, 400 in the center. By the way, that 400 pound section is 20 foot long there. Or you can have 600 pounds on the opposite side and 400 pounds in the center on the yellow section. The other option is 300 pounds on the green sections and 400 pounds in the center. It's really a simple product where most crews are going to use this product are going to be in remote areas that are not accessible by aerial lifts, bucket trucks, things of that nature. There is no right-of-way where you can drive onto to be able to get the linemen up into the air. So if there's very mountainous areas around where these aerial trucks or bucket trucks are not going to be able to get to, then this is the product that they would use to be able to do maintenance on the dead-end insulator bells. Again, very simple product, not very much to it. Again, they can be adjustable up and down here, as you can see on both ends. But again, very simple product developed at the request of a customer. The thought was at one point that, again, this is a 40-foot long tower platform. There was thought of doing a 20-foot at the same time, but ultimately the customer decided to do 40-foot and stick with that. So again, just because these specifications for this product were done for this particular customer, it doesn't mean we can't do something different for any of the users that are on the call today, or for the sales representatives or distributors. It doesn't mean we can't do a different product for your customers also. Maybe they may want more capacity. Fine, we can do that, but there may be different things that are going to be affected by doing that. And this is where we just have to see what's more important to the customer, and how we can come up with a solution that is going to work for their specific application. So with that being said, I'm going to open up the floor to any questions that you might have out there on the call today. And if anyone has it, go ahead.
No, I have a question on that roller guide hook to attach to the conductor. It appears that there's quite a few rollers across there and quite a bit of width. Can you elaborate on why? I guess my understanding is obviously it's only one wire, but maybe it's two or maybe it's three. I don't know. So is there a reason for that width?
Yes, sir. Typically, these are going to probably be more on a bundle conductor rather than a single conductor.
Okay.
So if it is a single conductor, then what may happen is you can imagine it's going to want to probably try to pivot on either end here. Now, the two hooks on the opposite end should help secure that. But more than anything else, it was more to give the helicopter operator the opportunity or ability to be able to land the opposite end of the tower platform. So giving him more flexibility to be able to land it.
Okay.
And that was the main reason for all the rollers there. One thought was for one roller at one point, but really there are other manufacturers, and I don't want to I always want to be very informative. We're not the only tower platform manufacturer out there. I think there may be two others. Now, why did Southern California Edison or would any customer come to us? Well, in this specific application, they had bought some tower platforms, to my recollection, if I remember correctly, the way that it worked, and they had a capacity, and the customer wanted to add some features to it, and the manufacturer told him, if you add those features, then we could no longer support the capacity. Although the capacity was not going to be affected, they were insignificant changes. But they were going to take that away, and nor was that manufacturer willing to work with them to give them the customer what they were wanting. And then the other tower platform manufacturer had something similar, but didn't offer any kind of rated capacity on it. You use it at your own risk. And nor would they manufacture something with the capacity that they were looking for on the customer side. So they said, would you guys be interested in coming up with a product that would have everything that we're looking for? And we said, absolutely. And that's where we came into the picture. So that hopefully, Steve, that answers your questions about the rollers there, and why we have moved into developing this product for our customers.
Yeah, that helps. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Any other questions? And also, if there's any comments that maybe you might have more information on than what I have, because I do not claim to know all the answers, or not all the answers, but know all the information. There may be somebody out there that has more experience that says, no, there's other names for this product, or there's other applications that where this might be used. Absolutely, we want to hear from you. But questions, the floor is open to anything that you want to present at this time.
Hey, Noah, Brian here.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, buddy. What about the lineman now? He's walking on a 20-foot rail. What's he tying himself off to? The conductor for safety? Or should
Yes, sir.
the rail doesn't have a tie-off point for them or the
I
platform?
believe that is correct. It's not listed here anywhere. I think it's typically going to be on the conductor. Kind of think of it as a spacer cart or a line cart that rides on the conductors to do service on spacers. Um, they're always tied off to the conductor for the reason that if the cart were to fall, or in this case, the tower platform were to fall, it would at least still be attached to the conductor.
Excellent. Thank you, Noah.
Yes, sir. Good question. Anyone else? Any other questions? Very well. So then, I want to thank you for joining us for this LineWise webinar of the month. The next product will be picked and invitations will be sent as we did with this one. We used to do these twice in 1 week to try to be different on the time, but with recording capabilities, this here has been recorded and will be placed on our website, and it would also, I think, be on YouTube. Marketing will tell me more about that, but you'll at least have access to this video, meaning that if there are others that you would like to see this video, please feel free to look for the link to it here. Heather will share that with you once it's been created, and then you'll be able to take that and share it with anyone that you feel may benefit from this product. I can't say this enough. If you don't find and explain this to your customers, for those that are selling the product, if it doesn't meet the specification exactly as to what they're looking for, do not hesitate in reaching out to us and discussing it with us to see how we can find a product with the specifications that your customer is going to need. Not just with the tower platform, but any product that LineWise has to offer. So I'm going to hang out here for just a little bit longer in case somebody else wants to ask any questions. But I thank you again for joining us today, and please be looking for the next LineWise webinar of the month for the month of January. It'll be on a Thursday all the time, for the most part, when we can work it out. If there's any kind of other things, we'll let you know. But it's usually gonna be Thursdays at 10:30, and I'm looking to try to always do this about the first week of every month. Now, I might change that for January because people may still be on holidays. But in cases like that, we'll change it back and forth. But for now, in general, that's when we're going to have them. So again, thank you very much for joining us, and have a great weekend.